UPSC CSE, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level Exam and CLAT examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are: I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, we shall identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions which will be very useful for prelims 2021. And by imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answers for the mains examination would also be precise and concise. And once your answers are precise and concise, you will certainly score higher marks in the mains examination, that is mains 2020. So therefore, this session, that is AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis by me, will certainly help you to crack or score higher marks in the mains 2020 as well as score higher marks in prelims and mains 2021. So do follow my entire session and then be benefited by AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. And this session is in regards to the DNA, that is daily news analysis of today, that is 30th October 2020. And we will first focus at the quote of the day before we get into the daily news analysis. And the quote of the day is by Nelson Mandela. He says that the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but the greatest glory in living lies in rising every time when we fall. So what is very important is that whenever there is a failure we are encountering, we need to overcome that failure and then attain success. That is what the quote of the day. The greatest, I repeat once again, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but it lies in rising every time we fall. And before I get into the topic, I would say a very good morning to one and all, and very good morning to the one who is in the live and also in the live chat. Sri Kumar, Kishore, D. Suvarna, Saira Begum, all of you, a warm welcome to you to AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. And now we'll get into the topic, that is the DNA of the Hindu newspaper. And the first news is PLA is upgrading its troops quarters. So the People's Liberation Army is upgrading the troops quarters of the China's Liberation Army, where in the high altitude, because of just before the winter season, it is going ahead with upgrading the troops quarters of the People's Liberation Army. Why is this they are upgrading? Because they wanted to make sure that the living conditions in the high altitude, that too in the forthcoming winter, they are preparing for the entire living condition because of the high altitude and because of the temperature at the high altitude. They are definitely getting into the mode of any kind of scenario to take up. So as we are certainly experiencing a continued tensions from March 24th, 25th onwards along the LAC between India and China, now by upgrading the troops quarters by the People's Republic of Army is definitely a cause of concern for India, which they are going ahead with the upgrading the living conditions of the troops along the LAC between India and China. And the PLA senior colonel, the spokesperson for the ministry, has also outlined that there is a need for the improvement of the border defense troops training and living conditions. So certainly the upgradation of the living condition is making it very clear that they wanted to improve the training and living condition at the Tibetan plateau by high-tech applications. So certainly the living conditions are being upgraded for the troops training and also for the living condition of the troops in the Tibetan Plateau by high-tech applications. This is a keyword, high-tech applications. The upgradation of the living conditions in the high altitude would be taken up for the training purposes and the living condition of the PLA, People's Liberation Army, in the Tibetan Plateau by high-tech application. So what is this high-tech application? It means the living condition which has been upgraded in the high altitude will facilitate the construction of logistic support capacity. So it will go ahead with facilitating the logistic support capacity for the PLA in the high altitude of the Tibetan Plateau and to promote the troops war preparation work. This is very, very crucial. They wanted to be ready for any kind of war preparation. So the upgradation of the living condition is to facilitate the logistic support capacity of the PLA and to promote the troops war preparation work. So this is certainly a cause of concern. The upgrading of the troops quarters in the Tibetan Plateau by the People's Liberation Army is a cause of concern, and that will be definitely looked at from India's side, that is Defense Minister and also the Prime Minister. It will be focusing very keenly. And before I get into the next slide, I would say very good morning to Mahi and Venkatesh Rangu. A warm welcome to both of you. And they have come up with a new accommodation or upgraded accommodation is called as insulated cabin. So they would be coming up with a new concept or new tech. We have looked at here that they would be coming up with the high technical applications so that their living conditions would be improved, and that will be by the insulated cabin. So what is a high-tech application used here in the high altitude in the Tibetan Plateau by the People's Liberation Army is the insulated cabin. This is the keyword here, and this will self-energized insulated cabin. This is an self-energized insulated cabin wherein this cabin will have a very specific temperature to be controlled, wherein the outdoor temperature would be around minus 40 degrees in the Tibetan Plateau in the winter season, that is around 5,000 meters height above the mean sea level, but the indoor temperature will be maintained at 15 degrees. So this is the insulated cabin with a self-energized insulated cabin. It is a self-energized insulated cabin. This is a high-tech application which is used in the upgradation of the accommodation to the PLA by the China. Minus 40 degrees outside and in this cabin. So this is self-energized insulated cabin. This is the cabin. You can see beds and then path and then all this. Here it will be around 15 degrees centigrade, but outside would be 40 degrees. And the new cabins would also have installed new thermal insulation devices for food storage, not only for the army to stay there, but this cabin will also be acting as a thermal insulation device for food storage. So what is the keyword what you need to focus is thermal insulation device. There could be a question based on the upgradation being taken up for the army or else PLS quarters, and there the concept would be asked again, connecting it with the science, that is thermal insulation devices for food storage. So you need to focus both here in regards to the India and China, how the tensions are really prevailing and how PLA is taking up the new accommodation for the PLAs in the Tibetan Plateau. That and also how this thermal insulation device will help to keep the food storage capacity for almost the winter session or winter season. Gauri Naidu has also joined. A warm welcome to you also. And the one who are listening to this class, I would make a point here before I get into the next topic that probably from October 1st, we are planning to go ahead with taking the class. This AKS IAS Academy would be at 6:30 a.m. It is not still finalized, but probably rather than 7:30 a.m. it could be shifted to 6:30 a.m. Please do understand, a.m. that is 1 hour in advance, so that you will also be benefited. The rest 1 hour you can use it for your other subjects also. So it's planning. I mean definitely intimate you in a couple of days. Now right now 7:30, from 1st of November it would be 6:30 a.m. and this is the insulated cabin, self-energized insulated cabin. Raju has joined. Warm welcome to you, Raju. And we'll look at another news which talks about in regards to the economy. Lowest core sector shrinking since March. So what is the keyword here is core sector. I have spoken about the core sectors in my previous classes, that is in AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. What are the core sectors? And I did emphasize that core sector is crucial. Core sector is crucial for the prelims as well as mains perspective, UPSC perspective, because you need to understand what is core sector and how core sectors will definitely add to the entire industrial production and how it will account to the growth of the countries or nation's GDP. So core sector is certainly a core information to all the civil servant aspirants, and this news talks about that the India's 8 core industry sectors. So how many core sectors we have? We have 8 core sectors. What are that? We will focus. But prior to that, that is the data which is now we would be looking at is the core industry sector data has shrank just to 0.8% in September, wherein it has recorded the lowest contraction in the month of March during the COVID-19 pandemic situation, or else the national lockdown situation when we have looked at. So that is very important, that we need to focus that the core industry sector which was lowest in the month of March, now in the month of September it is slightly increasing. That means rather than falling down very steeply, now it is increasing in a positive trend. Thereby the 8 core industry are just shrank, minus it is 0.8% it has shrank, but it was at a very lowest contraction or negative trend in the month of March 2020. But when we compare the 8 core industry sectors, the growth, if you look at the growth of the 8 core industry sector, comparing it with the March and now September, it is in a positive trend. It is in a positive trend. And now we will focus at what are the 8 core sectors and how the core sectors have been in a positive trend or in a negative trend, comparing it with the March 2020 and with now the September month 2020. And then Pavan Kumar Reddy has joined, Sai Karthik has joined. A warm welcome to both of you. Sai Karthik says, okay, thank you. Now you can enjoy the classes of me, that is at AKS IAS Academy, Karthik. And the 8 core sectors are being focused, that is the steel production. This has grown, that is positive 0.9% in September 2020 compared to in 2019 it was minus 1.4. It was minus, but the steel production now it is in the plus 0.9%, almost 1%, comparing it with the 2019 to 2020. And the next is in the core industries, electricity. So first one is steel, second is electricity output has also been in a positive trend, that is 3.7%, wherein in the month of 2019, September 2019, it was minus 2.6, but now it is plus. So it is growing, it is in a positive trend. And then the third one is natural gas is minus 10.6, which is definitely trying to have a positive trend. And the fourth one is the crude oil, which is minus 6%. Refinery products continue to fall even in September with minus 9.5%. So certainly natural gas, crude oil and refinery products are at a different trend, which are in a decline, which are in a fall, which are in a decline even in the month of September. But if you look at the other core industries or sectors, they are in a positive trend. And the sixth one is cement output, which has been improved in the month of September 2020 with a 3.5% plus positive trend, and wherein it has almost collapsed in the month of March, which was lowest cement. It was 25.1% negative, but it has come now to positive 3.5%. That means there is business revival, there is economic activity which is going on, there is construction activity which is going on. That is why cement and steel are definitely in a positive trend. And because of economic activity, the electricity is also in a positive trend. You need to have that linking, why it is growing. I mean, electricity sector is growing, steel sector is growing, cement sector is growing. Why? Because of economic activity, because of business revival which is being taken up, and by the economic stimulus package which has been introduced or by the Prime Minister of India, that is Finance Minister, first and second time, so that there is economic activity which is being taken up. And the seventh one is fertilizers production has also grown positively, comparing it with May to August 2019, but it has been slightly contracted by minus 0.3% in the month of September. Only the one which was actually positive was fertilizers right from May to August, but in the month of September we have seen a little bit of decline. Contraction is decline, minus. It has been minus, negative trend, that is 0.3%. And the coal output has shrunk, that is again minus in September 2019 by 20.9%. And if you look at the September 2020, after a year now, it is reported 21.2% growth, that is plus. So definitely the steel production, cement production and coal production, these are all in a positive trend, we can say it, along with electricity. And fertilizers now only for the first time it is minus 0.3%. And if you look at natural gas, petroleum and refinery, they are in the negative trends. So all the rest are in a positive trend. So this is how you need to focus, that how important is the core sector. Once you understand this, so certainly you will have a better understanding about how the index of industrial output is calculated. So I will just say once again, the 8 core sectors are steel, electricity, natural gas, crude oil, refinery products, cement and fertilizers, and then coal output. So these are the 8 core sectors which we have seen that there is growth comparatively, and it has just fallen down only up to 0.8%. And this, who would compile this data? We were talking about all these data percentages, all the 8 core sectors percentages. Who compiles it? The one who compiles is the Office of the Economic Advisor. In which department? It is the Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade. So it promotes industry and trade, internal trade. So how you need to try to identify this? This is the department which promotes the industry and trade. Please you understand. So the focus is on industry, the focus is on trade. So this is very important. Who compiles it? The Office of the Economic Advisor in the DPIIT compiles the index of core industries. So who compiles the index of core industry? This is again for prelims perspective 2021 and conceptual understanding, because in regards to the core sectors, there would be certainly, I mean 1 year it would be must, but definitely this is very crucial information when you are looking at the Indian economy as a civil servant aspirants. there could be questions. So first one is who compiles and what are the 8 core sectors? What are the 8 core sectors? Who compiles it and what are the 8 core sectors? And then how much the 8 core sectors have the percentage of GDP. That are the 3 areas which you need to focus in regards to the core sectors. So who compiles it? It is the Office of the Economic Advisor, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, compiles the index of 8 core industries. And definitely if you look at what is the core sector's total output of the entire index of industrial production, look at it. Here it is index of 8 core industries. Please look at it. It is the index of 8 core industries here. But when you look at the index of entire industrial production, the 8 core sectors constitute or it accounts for 40% of the index of industrial production. So this is again very important information for prelims perspective, that is for 2021. So what are the 8 core sectors? We have discussed, that is we have looked at this 8, which is again prelims perspective for 2021. And the second one is who compiles the index of 8 core industries, and the 8 core industries accounts for how much percentage of the index of industrial production, IIP, is 40%. So these are very, very crucial information for you, so that you will have a conceptual and the entire application part of it. And the final growth rate of index of 8 core industries for June 2020 is revised to, now it is minus 12.4%. If you look at the earlier, in the month of June it was 15% minus 15%. In the month of June, August it was minus 8.5%. And in regards to June it is 12.5, but now it is just minus 0.8%. That is what is important. So you need to compare it with from June, August and now September. So definitely the negative trend is being shredded and then positive trend is happening in the index of 8 core industry sectors. So there is a positive trend in the 8 core sectors. So this is how you need to focus for the prelims as well as mains point of view. And if you look at we have looked at, it is the natural gas, and we have looked at crude oil and then the refinery products. This we have looked at that they are in the minus, that is negative trend. We have focused in the 8 core sectors. These 3 are in the negative trend. We will look at it. The natural gas, as per the CARE ratings, the negative trend output is below, or it is declining in the natural gas, and it is declining since 16 months, consecutive 16 months. You can see the natural gas output is in a negative trend, and the crude oil also 34 successive months, and the crude oil is 34 successive months, that is continuously 34 months, 34th month. So almost 1.5 years it is in a negative trend, and refinery products is also in a negative contraction for the 7th month. So certainly this natural gas, crude oil and the refinery products are certainly in a negative trend, because they do have the global impact, global political impact on it. That is why we have seen this among the 8 core sectors, the one which is the 3 core sectors are in negative trend. The rest 5 core sectors are in a positive trend. So this differentiation you need to have it for a better understanding. And then Purushottam has also joined. A warm welcome to you, Purushottam. And the another news is India upset by Kashmir depiction on Saudi note. So we will look at what is being depicted in the sense what has been printed or presented on the Saudi Arabia currency note, Riyal. That there is a depiction of Kashmir, and that depiction is not happy by India, or India is upset by the Kashmir presentation on the, or print Kashmir, the state of Kashmir print on the Saudi Arabia note. We will look at what is that. So India has described or said that the map of Kashmir, which is now printed on the new currency note of Saudi Arabia, is a gross misrepresentation. Is a gross misrepresentation of India's sovereign territory. This is the keyword. So the print of Kashmir in the new currency note of Saudi Arabia, what India says is, that is, the spokesperson of External Affairs Minister Anurag Srivastava has made it very clear that it is a gross misrepresentation of sovereign territory of India on the new currency note of Saudi Arabia. And it says that, India says that the spokesperson of External Affairs Minister has made it very clear, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, both union territories, are certainly an integral part of India, and then by depicting Kashmir as not part of India is a gross misrepresentation of sovereign territory, and that is not accepted. What India is actually upset about it, and it was printed on the Saudi Arabia new currency note, that is on 20 Riyal note, which was printed by, this is important, by the Saudi Arabia Monetary Authority. So it is the official print which has been taken up by the Saudi Arabia Monetary Authority onto the new currency, that is 20 Riyal note, and they have done it, or they printed on October 24th. Why they have gone ahead with the new currency note? Because they have celebrated the Saudi presidency of G20. Now that means the presidency of G20 summit or G20 group is Saudi Arabia. Because the Saudi Arabia has got the presidency of the G20 group, they have to celebrate the Saudi presidency. They have printed in 20 Riyal note by the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority depicting Kashmir not part of India, and that is what India is upset. Saying it is a gross misrepresentation of sovereign territory. And definitely the map which shows Kashmir as a separate entity, and look at it, it is showing as a separate entity between India and Pakistan. That means it is not considering Kashmir as integral part of India, neither it is showing Kashmir as part of Pakistan. As we have seen on August 6th 2020, Pakistan has also come up with a new political map which they have shown the Gilgit and Baltistan as part of Pakistan. And here in the map which shows on the currency note of 20 Riyal, it shows or depicts Gilgit and Baltistan area and also the Azad Kashmir out of Pakistan control, but as well as it is not shown or it is not printed part of India. That is the concern of India, and that is why India is upset. And it says very clearly that the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, which has printed 20 Riyal note, is a gross misrepresentation of sovereign territory. G. Srinu has joined. A warm welcome to you, Srinu. And this is what it is, the 20 Riyal note of Saudi Arabia. As I said, it is by the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. It has been printed. So here this you can little bit see that India, the head part, which we say this Jammu and Kashmir is not. So if you look at here, you can see it. See here. It is only shown till here. This is what is been depicted. This is on the 20 Riyal note. This part, which is Gilgit and Baltistan and Azad Kashmir. They are shown separately, which is not part of India, neither part of Pakistan. Neither part of Pakistan. So this is the concern which India is upset about. Can you see this? This is the part of Jammu and the Azad Kashmir, and then the northwestern part is this part is Gilgit and Baltistan. Gilgit and Baltistan area, wherein the Gilgit and Baltistan area, the CPEC passes through. That is China Pakistan Economic Corridor passes through the Gilgit and Baltistan. China Pakistan Economic Corridor passes through Gilgit and Baltistan. So this is an important point for the better understanding about. Okay, Srinu says Saudi, sir, doubt Saudi note and India compare. Why, sir? Okay, why is Saudi comparing? Yes, that is what India is raising the concern. It is a gross misrepresentation of the sovereignty of or territorial sovereignty of India, and it is raising the concern why Saudi Arabia has not included Jammu and Kashmir as part of India and shown as separately. That is what now India is raising the concern. That is the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava has asserted that entire union territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh is an integral part of India. So definitely there is kind of misrepresentation which is happening. That is what India is focusing now. I hope Srinu you have understood now. And there is another news which now we will look at a little bit of analytical analysis. We'll do analytical point of view. We will be discussing, that is what is the relation now. What is the relation now between Turkey and France, and why the relation between Turkey and France has deteriorated, or it is not conducive, or it is not in a happy or friendly position, but rather Turkey and France as of now there is a kind of enmity. So we will look at what is the relation between France and Turkey. Even though both the countries, France and Turkey, are NATO members, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Both the countries are members of NATO, but still the relation between Turkey and France is at a very low, is not at in a good terms, is not conducive, but it is deteriorating. It is almost like an enmity they are prevailing. So the president of Turkey is Recep Tayyip Erdogan and the French president is Emmanuel Macron. So first we will understand the Turkish president is Recep Tayyip Erdogan and France headed or the counterpart president is Emmanuel Macron. So why the relations are deteriorating, why the relations are not happy even though both are NATO members, is because Emmanuel Macron, French president, has called for, or he wanted for, reforms in Islam, that is reforming Islam in France, and thereby France has recalled the ambassador. So this is the first one, why the relation between France and Turkey are hitting a low, very new low, is because the first reason is French president wanted to reform Islam, and the second one is France has recalled the ambassador from Turkey. That means the French official who is an ambassador in Turkey, France ambassador in Turkey, has been recalled, and then recalled in the sense France has asked the ambassador in Turkey or French ambassador in Turkey, that is they wanted him to come back first time, and in turn Ankara is the capital of Turkey. So Ankara has called for boycott of French goods. So definitely this is the a kind of scenario which is prevailing, that the relation between both the countries are definitely at a lower end. So the second reason is France recalling the ambassador from Turkey, and in turn Turkey has boycotted French goods in Turkey. So these are the three reasons, main reasons I am saying. One, recalling and then boycotting. These are the three main reasons why there is a enmity or not a good relations between France and Turkey. And we will look at what is the main point, trigger point, that means which is the main reason, cause for the relation deteriorating between Turkey and France. We have seen Turkey and France have clashed over the geopolitical issues in the recent years. So what is the keyword here? That is geopolitical issues. That is the in and around of France and Turkey, that particular region. They wanted to have the control, geopolitical issues, and both Turkey and France are trying to interfere in various other countries' political issues. That is why they are now in a mix or clash over the geopolitical issues. And the latest clash is, we will look at what is the trigger, why this immediate trigger, why France and Turkey are at loggerheads, is because the French government has supported a magazine called as Charlie Hebdo. So you have a magazine called as Charlie Hebdo, wherein this Charlie Hebdo magazine has published the caricature of Prophet Muhammad in a indecent manner in the year 2015. In the year 2015, the magazine that is in French, that is called as Charlie Hebdo, has published the caricature of Prophet Muhammad in an indecent manner. And then we have seen that Al-Qaeda linked jihadists have attacked the office later on after the publication of the caricature of Prophet Muhammad, which they did not like it, and the jihadists have attacked and killed few of the employees of the Charlie Hebdo in the year 2015. And now what is important is that now the French government supports to republish the cartoon of Prophet Muhammad. That is the main trigger, that is the main cause or the reason why Turkey and France are at loggerheads. That means the French government is now supporting to republish the cartoon of Prophet Muhammad, which in the magazine called as Charlie Hebdo. Please do understand, Charlie Hebdo. And the recent one incident which has happened is on October 16, a history teacher in Paris, suburbs of Paris, named as Samuel Paty, has been beheaded by an 18-year-old Chechen school student because the teacher has gone ahead with showing or depicting the caricature of Prophet Muhammad. Thereby, an 18-year-old Chechen has beheaded the history teacher in the suburbs of Paris because of, as we have looked at, French government supporting to republish the cartoon of the caricature of Prophet Muhammad. And the next one is that the history teacher has shown his students the caricature of Prophet Muhammad, which is not decent and not accepted what they have felt, the Chechen, and they have beheaded an 18-year-old history teacher. An 18-year-old student has beheaded an history teacher in Paris, and that is what has triggered a new kind of relations which are deteriorating between Turkey and France. And now we will look at, we are focused at the trigger. Now we will focus at the what is the reform plan of Emmanuel Macron. So in the month of early October, Emmanuel Macron has come up with the law. He has outlined the long awaited law which the French government is planning to introduce, wherein the French government is planning to introduce a law that is to regulate the practice of Islam in France. Please do understand here. The Macron's reform plan, that is reform plan. What is that reform plan? Reforming Islam. Reforming Islam in France is the call given by Emmanuel Macron in France, and that is what is not liked by the Turkish president, that is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, wherein this law is planning to introduce to regulate the practice of Islam in France, and this bill will formally be presented in December in France, and the president said that the law was being brought in to fight Islamist separatism. So definitely the keywords please to understand: to regulate the practice of Islam is the Macron's plan, reforming Islamic, and then as they wanted to bring the law to fight against the Islamist separatists. So to fight against the Islamist separatists is the keyword, and this law will crack down on all the foreign influence in the French Muslim communities. So definitely French government feels that there is foreign influence, that is various other countries' influence in the French Muslim communities. Thereby they are coming up with the new law which will crack down on the foreign influence in the French Muslim community, and then the government, this new law will also crack down and then will also track the fundings for the mosques from foreign countries into France, into French Muslim communities to fund the mosque. So definitely the government is also wanting to create a certificate program, for the imams and ban the homeschoolings, thereby by getting in the new law formally to present in the month of December by 2020. So we will look at the first one is to regulate the practice of Islam, to fight the Islamist separatists, to crack down the foreign influence in Muslim communities, and the government to track funding for mosques from various other countries, and then to create a certificate program for imams and ban homeschooling. So this will be by the long awaited law, which is the reform plan of Emmanuel Macron. So these five, if you can understand the main intention of the reform plan of Macron, so definitely you will understand the entire scenario of what is happening between Turkey and France. These 6 reasons. Kondela has also joined, Sweta has joined. A warm welcome to both of you. And then now we will focus at the geopolitical angle. So first one we have focused is what is that has been triggered. That means what is the cause for the not a conducive relation between Turkey and France. And the second one we have looked at Emmanuel Macron's reform plan. And the third one is now geopolitical angle. So these are the 3 areas we are focusing why there is an enmity between Turkey and Russia, Turkey and France, extremely sorry. So this person is Emmanuel Macron, the French president, and is Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Turkey president. We will look at the geopolitical angle now. Why both the countries are trying to have their influence in various other countries. Turkey under Recep Tayyip Erdogan is trying to expand its influence erstwhile in the earlier Ottoman Empire, is trying to expand its influence in the previous Ottoman territory or Ottoman Empire. And when the Turkey or Recep Tayyip Erdogan is trying to expand the influence of Turkey, France is standing in the way as an hurdle to Recep Tayyip Erdogan not to expand the Turkish influence in the erstwhile Ottoman territories or Ottoman Empire. And in Libya, so this is the first one and this is the second one. Libya, where Turkey is backing the Tripoli based government, but France has supported the other parallel government who is running, that is the military campaign. The one general is Khalifa Haftar against the Tripoli. So definitely Turkey is supporting Libya's government, France is supporting the military campaign which is running a parallel government in Libya, because Libya is again definitely a colony of France. Even we have seen Lebanon also is a colony of French. And in Eastern Mediterranean also we have seen Turkey has launched a gas exploration which is having an issue with Greece and Cyprus, and then France is now supporting Greece and Cyprus, and then has also sent the French warships in the region. So this I have explained almost 3 weeks back in the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis, that how Turkey has sent the gas exploration mission in the Mediterranean Sea to explore the gas and oil, but which the Greece and Cyprus are objected to it, because they say Turkey has entered into Greece islands, because Turkey has entered into Greece islands, that is what the Greece is saying, and in turn French has supported Greece and Cyprus and it has sent the warships in the Mediterranean Sea. And we have also discussed the Armenian-Azerbaijan border disputes, Nagorno border dispute also, and this Armenian-Azerbaijan conflict also. Turkey has offered unconditional support to Azerbaijan military, wherein again Macron is not really accepting a kind of reckless and dangerous intervention in the Armenian or Azerbaijan-Armenian conflict. So this is the geopolitical angle why both of them are trying to interfere. So first is in the Ottoman territory, second one is in the Libya, third one is in the Mediterranean area, Mediterranean Sea, and the fourth is the Azerbaijan and Armenian conflict for the border dispute. So these are the 4 geopolitical angles. So definitely we have looked at almost, this is a short notes for the mains examination in regards to the international relations in the West Asia and then Europe, that is between two NATO members. There is a spat or enmity, or the relations between France and Turkey we have looked at. From what is the trigger we have focused, the second one we have focused is Emmanuel Macron reform plan, and the third one is the geopolitical angle. So this please do focus it, which will be a very analytical point from UPSC mains perspective. And another news is rupee slides as virus rattles European Union. So definitely we know that now Europe is experiencing second wave of COVID-19. We have seen France is experiencing. So definitely because of that, various countries in Europe is experiencing second wave of COVID-19, and because of that now the investors have flocked, or they have kept their money in the safe havens assets, so that their risk will be minimal, because the risk of losing the profits will be minimal. Why? Because Europe has gone ahead with imposing a fresh lockdowns to control the resurging COVID-19 cases. So what is the reason why the rupee has fallen down, and then the rupee has fallen down and also the stocks have fallen down? That is the Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange Sensex have fallen down. That is Standards and Poor, Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange has fallen down, and then rupee has slides, that is it has weakened. The reason is, what is the reason? This is the reason, because of Europe going ahead with a fresh imposition of fresh lockdowns, and thereby they felt that the investors, rather than going ahead with investing in the European companies, it's better to invest in the safe havens, that is again in US. Thereby we have seen the rupee is now falling against the US currency, because now the US currency, that is dollar, has become stronger, and then the domestic equities, that is in India's domestic stock market, has become weak, and the dollar has become strong, and thereby the investors are trying to approach this safe haven assets. Haven is place, and then the rupee has breached to 74. $1 is equal to 74 rupees for the first time since August 26, and definitely on October 28th, that is on Wednesday, the rupee has depreciated to 16 paisa. That is a huge. And then the investors, when we are talking about, that is FIIs, that is foreign institutional investors, where the net seller, they started selling it, and then they wanted to make sure that they would protect, or they would minimize their losses. And that selling has come up to 1130.98 crore on net basis. So this is what the selling has taken place by the foreign institutional investors, because of the imposition of the fresh lockdowns in Europe, and the FIIs are pulling out, they are selling and then trying to go back and then invest in the country, or in the stock markets, or in the equities which are safe place. And certainly US dollar is strong, and then India rupee is declining, and it has declined to 16 paise. So this is how the rupee has slid, and the stocks have been fallen down. Stocks falls and the rupee slides. Stock falls and the rupee slides. Why? Because virus is rattling European Union, and because of that Europe is imposing a fresh lockdown. Mohammad Razak, Kondal, Shalini, a warm welcome to you all. And I am repeating once again that now we have this 7:30 AM, but probably from 1st of November we might, I will confirm that, but there is a probability that the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis might be at 6:30 AM, 1 hour in advance from 1st of November. I will confirm it in a couple of days. Probably tomorrow I will confirm. So rather than 7:30, it might be from 1st of November 6:30 AM. That is the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. Please try to reschedule your time. Rather than 7:30, it could be, I will confirm it tomorrow, but from 1st of November it could be from 6:30 AM. And now we will recapitulate. We have looked at the cabins. So this is again very important in regards to the technology also, and the 8 core sectors are very crucial from economy point of view, and this is in regards to the international relations, which India is upset with Saudi Arabia in regards to the 20 Riyal note. And we have looked at the relation between India and Turkey and France, and then rupee slides. This is again in regards to the economy, which we have focused, linking it with the rupee, and then the stock exchange have fallen down, comparing it with the Europe lockdown in Europe. Raju Megawatt says thank you. Okay, I would also say a very big thank you to all. And then do try to fix in your mind that there would be a possibility of change in timing from 7:30 to 6:30. I will confirm it tomorrow, and I hope this session was an informative, knowledgeable one, and I would say a very big thank you and a good luck. You will be brilliant. Tomorrow I will see you at 7:30 a.m. for the daily news analysis, and then do stick to consistency, do maintain the schedule of your preparation, do take care of your physical health and mental health, and then do like the video, share the video, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy, and also visit AKS IAS Academy website, and then subscribe the telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is daily news analysis of AKS IAS Academy of advanced knowledge system. And then do try to, again I would reiterate, probably from 1st of November we would plan it, the daily news analysis at 6:30 a.m. I will confirm it tomorrow 6:30 a.m. rather than tomorrow it is 7:30, but from 1st of October there is a probability that we will shift it to 6:30 a.m. Okay, Kondal also says thank you. Okay, I would also say thank you to everyone. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m.